President Uhuru Kenyatta was very clear on this matter. And Kenyans will remember when President Obama came to Kenya, the former President Uhuru Kenyatta stood with him on the podium and made it clear to the President of the US then that Kenya has no space and place for the lesbians, the gays, the transgender, the bisexual, and the queer, the LGBTQ group, or this pervert dealing in gayism. At that time, President Ruto, then as deputy president, was also very express and explicit that there is no room for this kind of behavior and conduct in our country. It is beginning to bother Kenyans that President Ruto, who is a Christian, is being too silent on this matter as the debate rages and as our society is being destroyed by gayism. President Museveni is speaking across the border here very loudly. The president of Zambia spoke the other day very loudly. President Kagame, very loudly. We want to ask President William Ruto to add his voice, and not just to add his voice, but to loudly speak against gayism in Kenya. And it is important he does so now. This thing has pervaded all sectors and all units of our society. This thing has gone beyond the slum areas in terms of recruitment, even to the family units. This thing is in all arms of government, whether in the executive, whether in the judiciary, whether it is in this parliament. Those people have recruited agents. This thing is in the media. This thing is in professional societies. And this thing, if encouraged, will not only stagnate and reduce our population, but will also destroy the young people we have. Look at these Western countries purveying gayism. They advertise every day requesting people to join their citizenship because they don't have their own people. When you say a male should marry a male, they are to marry to what end? When you say a woman will marry a fellow woman, it is to what end? When you say people of the same gender should have an intimate relationship, it is to what end? It is to stagnate the population of a nation, and it is to destroy the existing population. In fact, this thing, as President Museveni calls it, it is socio-imperialism. The black generation survived slavery in the US. We survived colonialism by the West. They want to now impose their cultures on our people to destroy our society. So I want to request President William Ruto. You are a Christian. Please speak against gayism. Don't be quiet. This thing is destroying our society. We have laws criminalizing this thing, but when you go across Boretam here, you will get those people with a building bigger than Parliament with a flag flying there. Not far from State House. The President must speak, and the law enforcement officers must swing into action. So I want to request the President not to be quiet over this thing. And then let us as a country plan our things well, because to me it is not a coincidence that that judgment by the Supreme Court was being made just when the First Lady of the United States of America was arriving in the country. It's not a mere coincidence, but your guess is as good as mine. We are poor, and cultures of other people, bad cultures, are being imposed on us because we have failed to manage our country properly. Look at the drought now. We're just wasting money on dams instead of doing boreholes and availing this underground water. Instead of pumping water from the Indian Ocean, pumping water from Lake Victoria and these internal water bodies, we are waiting to be given 16 billion for a destructive culture to be imposed on us to destroy our country. I want to request President William Ruto, you are a Christian, speak against gayism. Let not Museveni, Kagame, that president of Rwanda be the ones being heard on this matter. We want to request our president to speak against gayism. And even if we were to die of poverty as a country, let us not destroy this society by allowing this perverted Western culture into our country. Kwa Kiswahili?
English. We have seen already
the Islamic society in the country and the religious society in Kenya are going back to court. The decision from the Supreme Court was a decision by 3 judges out of 7. They sat 5, 2 dissented. I know some Kenyans think that you cannot appeal a decision of the Supreme Court because there is no court above it. But you can go back to that very court and seek review. So those religious society of Kenyans are going back to court to seek review. I had indicated that we are also going back. The Society of Professional Lawyers is also going back. And I have no doubt that when the court relooks at the matters that will be raised, that decision will be reversed. I wanted to remind the court that if you look at the Constitution, the judiciary exercises judicial authority delegated from the Kenyans, so that the judiciary is not law unto itself. And we are a constitutional democracy. If the Supreme Court does not go with the society, then the Supreme Court will not just be left behind, but the society will make a decision whether they need that Supreme Court. But as Parliament, I take refuge in Article 94 of the Constitution, which says nobody, no institution, no organ, no entity in Kenya has the power or authority to make provision with the force of law other than this Parliament. And so in the law we are going to propose, if the Supreme Court was banning words because it is not explicit, we are going to make it explicit in the law that associations whose theme, target, and project and agenda is gayism shall never be registered. And if any has been registered, we will have a provision saying they will stand deregistered upon the passage of that law. So I want to tell Kenyans they are safe because they gave the authority to the representative of people here to make law. The Supreme Court does not make law. They gave their thoughts. We will go back to them to reverse it. And I believe with the 2, and then those 2 who are not there, we have already 4, because I know the Chief Justice is Martha Koome. That's a lady with a family law background and a protector of family institutions. And of course the other judges there. I don't doubt in my mind that on reflection, even the judges who ruled in that way will continue. Because look, how does the Supreme Court, how do those judges say that it is criminal to engage in homosexuality in Kenya, and then go ahead to say that you'll register an association of homosexuals in Kenya? What will stop murderers? What will stop murderers from approaching the NGO board to say we want to register the Murderers Association of Kenya? And what is the basis upon which you'll stop them? What will stop these terrorists from going and saying we remain lawful to and we can associate until we bomb you, we want to register an association of terrorists in Kenya? I mean, what will you stop them? So that determination by the Supreme Court is so bad, it passes the level of being bad. It is perverted. And it is inconsistent with the stance of the society which that Supreme Court is established to do.
To LGBT, we are saying no to the registration associating themselves with LGBT. Tunaelewa na tunajua. Sasa ikiwa tunawapatia nafasi wakuwe na platform ambayo pengine watakuwa wanafanya awareness ati kuna right, hata kama we are talking about human rights, but even human right there is some limitations. Na limitation lazima ziangaliwe. Na also human rights, we have also to look at our religion. Our religion, the Christianity, the Islamic, and even Hinduism, they don't even prescribe on gayism. So why should our judges, we respect the judiciary, we respect the judges, but surely our society, our religion, where are you putting us as women? Jamani, are we going to have population here in this country in a few years to go? kama saa hizi hakuna hizo organization, and still tulisikia juzi the case of that boy who was killed because of the issue of gayism. And today we want to give them that platform. Tunajua wa inaanzanga hivyo tu, ati tunawapatia, they only register their groups. So the groups, what will be the agenda of those groups? What will be the role of those groups? What will be the end results of those groups? What will those groups want to achieve if they have those associations? They will need to do some awareness that gayism is good, or what? They will also want to recruit
people to engage. Yeah.
People to go into gayism and lesbianism. And yet here today tunajua hata lesbianism, what they use vibrators. Vibrators zinaleta nini? Cancer. So we want to have more cancer for the women here in this country. We are saying a big no, a big no. Raisi wetu, si unasema wewe ni mtu wa Mungu sana na ni mtu wa kanisa sana, tunataka kusikia sauti yako ukikemea, na ukemee sana hii mambo ya LGBT, kwa sababu tunajua, yes, we agree there is globalization, westernization, lakini not to the extent ya kutufanya mila zetu na desturi na dini zetu tuweze kuzisahau na mambo ya LGBT. So for us as women of this country, as leaders of this country, we are saying a big no. Na tutapambana katika hii vita ya LGBT. Tutapambana tukiwa hapa katika bunge, na tutapambana kutumia forums zingine ambazo tuko nazo. Our religious leader, wherever you are, be it Christian, be it Muslim, be it even the Hinduism, please come for the rescue of the children of this country. Be heard. We want to hear your voices. Raise your voices on this issue. Please.
Ninakemea vikali ule uamuzi. Japokuwa ninaheshimu uamuzi wa koti, lakini mimi kama mtoto wa Kiislamu, mimi kama kiongozi, ninakemea vikali, na ni jambo ambalo limetutamausha sisi kama wanawake katika bunge hili la 13. Ni jambo ambalo limetushangaza sisi, tumelaliwa ndani ya mila na desturi zetu, hatujaona mambo kama haya. Na ndiyo maana hii dunia inakaa, wakati huu tunaona ukame ni mwingi sana, tunaona majanga tofauti tofauti. Wakati sisi tulikuwa wadogo, tulikuwa hatuoni mambo kama haya. So kuna laana fulani ambayo inatuandama. Wakati tulitangaza kuunga mkono mashirika tofauti tofauti, usijui wanaelimisha, so vijana wamejitokeza na wao wanataka kujiunga katika mirengo, katika hayo mambo ya kujihusisha na gayism, lesbianism. Hii ni makosa makubwa sana. Mimi kama kiongozi kutoka ile sehemu ya Kwale, ninasema ninakemea pakubwa na siungi mkono kama kiongozi, kama mbunge mwanamke wa bunge hili la kitaifa na kiongozi kule nyanjani. Asante sana.